Regular meeting of the City Council held in Council Chambers on Thursday, November 14, 2013 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on November 7, 2013 at 5:51 p.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. All councilors are present. Council President Ryan is presiding. Council Prevey moves to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Ask that we all rise and join Councilor Sosnowski in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony. We have no speakers. Hearings, none. Appointments and reappointments, none. Easy. Communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $3,271,793 from general fund balance reserved for free cash account to the following special revenue funds: Stabilization Fund, Capital Improvement Fund, OPEB Trust Fund, and Stabilization Fund replenished fiscal year 13 transfers.
Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Council Prevey moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Council Prevey.
I also move for adoption.
Okay, under discussion.
Mr. President, every year around this time, the administration submits to the council a request for the reserve free cash that's been certified, and obviously the division of it in terms of stabilization, capital improvement fund, OPEB trust fund, and stabilization. So it amounts a little bit higher than what we normally do. We usually do between like 2.4 and 2.8 million in years past. This year it's 3.2, which is a good sign, I think, because obviously we have a little bit more on hand. There's been some expenses in the past that we've kind of dipped into it. So I think it's a good thing for us to kind of stick with that fiscal policy that the administration adopted years ago, and the council ended up supporting as well. So this is something that we see every year now for the last several years, and so I don't see any reason why this would need to go to committee unless a councilor has strong objection to it or has some concerns about the particular application of the different percentages. Also, for this evening, for the council, if there's any questions about it, we do have the finance director, Sarah Stanton, in the chamber if anyone wants to ask her any questions about that. So otherwise, I would ask that this be approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Council Prevey. Anybody have any questions? Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor?
We have an appropriation of $70,000 from fund balance free cash account to police medical account.
Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Okay, any objection? None being. Council Prevey.
I also move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Unfortunately, one of the things that goes along with the work of many of our employees, in particular the police department, is some of the injuries that they occur on the job. And this is obviously to cover some of those for the medical account. The account that we had the money in previously have been since depleted, and so this is obviously asking for a transfer because we have some outstanding bills that need to be paid, and as a result of that, I'd ask for this to be approved right away. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $60,000 from fund balance free cash account to the mayor contracted services account.
Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Okay, any objection? None being. Council Prevey.
I also move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Mr. President, the contracted services request is for the National Grid Cable Replacement Project that's currently underway. Obviously, it's going through additional review process, and the contracted services obviously is going to hopefully help to make sure that the current proposal that's being put forward is something that is in the best interest of the city and that we do things right. So the mayor is seeking this money. I think we should certainly appropriate it so we can move forward with the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, none being. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $31,725 from receipts reserved sale of lots account to public services equipment account.
Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
No objection. Council Prevey.
I also move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This transfer is for a piece of equipment, and I think it's something that we need. Obviously, it's a trackless trailer that is needed, so I would ask for approval of this.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $32,940.67 from fund balance free cash account to Furlong Park grant account.
Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Okay. None being. Council Prevey.
I move for adoption.
Under discussion.
A number of years ago, Mr. President, we had received a grant, and we also provide some matching funds for the rehabilitation of Furlong Park, which is in Ward 6. And unfortunately, there was a lot of contamination that went on, and as the project went underway, we found out there was more contamination. So there was a lot of cost overruns that ended up occurring, unfortunately. And so as a result, there's a deficit now in the grant fund that we need to replenish. The project obviously was completed, and it took a couple of years, but it completed. The park looks beautiful, gets a lot of use out of it, but unfortunately, we're kind of left with the financial situation that is left behind for the grant. So the grant only contained a certain amount of money that the state was putting forward, and we had to come up with a certain percentage of that grant to match it. And then any other costs beyond that, unfortunately, we had to bear those costs. So as a result of the deficit that was created from that, I'd ask that my colleagues support this transfer. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? None being. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $15,900 from fund balance free cash account to the planning contracted services account.
Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Any objection? None being. Council Prevey.
I'm actually going to ask for suspension of the rules and ask Ms. Stanton to address the council on this matter,
Okay.
provide some details. Thank you.
Good evening, councilors.
Thank
This request is for evaluation of relocation of the City Hall Annex. As part of the Planning Department's overall goal of looking at things, they're requesting an additional $15,900 for technical assistance. This is not something that was adequately budgeted in terms of what the total cost of the project would be. It's to take an initial site evaluation, sort of understand what our needs are, what the needs are of the departments here and also the departments at the annex, and how much space we would be looking for. So this would be to take that initial evaluation services.
Okay. Any councilors have any questions? Councilor Legault.
Councilor Legault.
Thank you, through you, Mr. President. Sarah, I'm going to ask the dumb guy question. Could you just be a little more specific on the technical assistance? Are we talking a consultant here?
Yes,
or-
this is a consultant who would, sort of a building facilities consultant. What do we have at the annex? What are our needs at the annex? Are we meeting our needs? Do we need more space? How many people do we have in the building? What's the technology available in the building? If we were to relocate, what would we need to do so? So it's looking at the overall facility and then potential options for additional facilities.
Is there an anticipation, to you still,
the
Mr.
floor.
President, to Sarah, is there an anticipation down the road of further use of this consultant or another consultant in this regard? Have we thought about it?
Not to my knowledge, this
All
is
right.
the initial phase. I think that an RFP has been put together to look at sort of a facilities study evaluation of different buildings, but this is the initial phase, according to Lynn Duncan.
All right, thank you, Sarah.
Yep, no problem.
President.
Further comments, questions? Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only question I would have is, don't we have the in-house talent to do this?
This is sort of a unique process, not to belittle the in-house talent that we have, because I think we do have some pretty excellent people in both the planning department and the building department. The uniqueness of this is trying to find a facility outside of here that would meet our needs. So say we find that the annex is not suitable for the departments that are over there, there's a whole myriad of issues, both in terms of the technology we need in a building, the accessibility requirements, the sheer space, furniture, furnishings, and equipment. So it's really looking overarching, and it's something where if we're going to do it, we want to make sure we do it right.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? Okay. On Counselor Prevy's motion, all those in favor? Did you move to adopt it?
Yes, I did, Mr.
Okay,
President.
sorry. On Counselor Prevy's motion to adopt, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
I have an appropriation of $10,651.36 from the fund balance free cash account to inspectional services electricity and an inspectional services oil heat accounts.
Counselor Prevy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Any objection? None being. Counselor Prevy.
I move for adoption.
Any discussion?
Briefly, this is just to cover costs, obviously, relative to electricity and oil heat. It was from prior fiscal year costs, and it had to do with the Gordon College contract. There was a lot of people coming and going with, the planning department, Gordon College, and some of these bills kind of got lost in the shuffle, and so now they're resurfacing, and the bills are still outstanding. We need to pay them, so obviously I'm asking for this monies to be appropriate for that purpose.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further comments, discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $9,060.07 from receipts reserve sale of vaults account to the public services equipment account.
Counselor Prevy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Any objection? None being. Counselor Prevy.
I move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Mr. President, this transfer is for a third payment that we have for a trackless snow removal equipment, and obviously with the challenges of winter coming up upon us, I think it's good to make sure that we have everything kind of paid off with regards to that, because we certainly get a lot of use out of the equipment. But I would ask, well, since these rules have already been suspended, I'm going to ask the finance director, do we have any more payments, Sarah, on this, or is that the last one?
This is the last one.
The last one, okay, so.
I have a question, Council.
Counselor O'Keefe.
Through your question of either the chairman of the committee or finance director, is this equipment going to be, we're taking money from the sale of vaults at the cemetery, correct? And we're putting it into a general account, equipment account, for a vehicle that's used throughout the city? Just at the cemetery, no place else?
That's my understanding.
And we need a trackless vehicle there?
It's for sort of more narrow areas in between sidewalks, things of that nature. That's why it's trackless.
So you mean it's a track or is wheels? Which is it?
It's like, it's my understanding, it's like the bottom of a snowmobile. So
Good,
it's
that's
not
fine, that's fine.
traditional four-wheel
Good.
wheels.
Thank you.
Everything okay with you?
Yep.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $6,660 from receipts reserve sale of vaults account to the cemetery burial account.
Counselor Prevy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move suspension of the rules.
Any objection? None being. Counselor Prevy.
I also move for adoption.
Okay, under discussion.
This is just a standard transfer for cemeterial burial boxes. That's all.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $1,500 from fund balance free cash account to the health department rodent control account.
Counselor Prevy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Any objection? None being. Counselor Prevy.
I also move for adoption.
Under discussion.
This request comes through the health agent for rodent control, and we've dealt with this before. I know he had a certain amount of money that was appropriated, but things being what they are in the city in terms of development and other issues have come up from a public health standpoint, he needs more money for rodent control, so gotta make sure the rats don't overtake us, so.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to accept a donation of $5,000 from the Eastern Bank to the North Shore Workforce Investment Board Donation Fund.
Counselor Prevy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption.
Any discussion?
We would just like to thank Eastern Bank Charitable Foundation for making such a generous donation. I think you might be familiar with them, Mr. President.
Heard of them. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to accept a donation of $1,800 from Anthony Filios to be deposited in the Recreation Department donation fund for a bench at the Salem Common.
Counselor Prevy.
I move for adoption, Mr. President.
Under discussion?
Just want to extend our gratitude for such a generous donation.
Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Mayor's informational page, none. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, in the year 2013, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, handicap parking, tow zone. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking tow zone is hereby amended by adding the following: Larchmont Road in front of number 6, starting at a point at the property line between 6 and 4 and extending 20 feet in a northerly direction, handicap parking tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter.
On discussion?
The only discussion is Lieutenant Przewski looked into the request and obviously saw fit that it needs to have that restriction, so I would ask for adoption.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further motions, orders, and resolutions? No one has any? Council Preview, on the one we bring up, is that coming up under motions, orders, and resolutions? Or
I'm sorry?
for the clinic? It's not on, I don't see it on the agenda.
What did you say?
Move for a 2-minute recess, Mr. President.
Have a 2-minute recess? Anyone objects? All right, 2-minute recess. All right, thank you. So we're out of motions, orders, and resolutions. Committee reports. Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, the City Council, November 14, 2013. The Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of approving the recommendation of the Community Preservation Committee to reserve 10% of the estimated $400,000 in surcharge revenues to each of the CPA reserve funds as follows: CPA Open Space, $40,000, CPA Historic Preservation, $40,000, and CPA Community Housing, $40,000, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? On adoption recommendation, on discussion?
Mr. President, this evening we had a committee meeting for Community Administration and Finance co-posted, and we had the Finance Director, Sarah Stanton, in, the Community and Development Director, Lynn Duncan, as well as the Assistant Community Development Director, Jane Guy. Jane Guy is going to be the administrator of the CPA program under the Plan Department, obviously. And so they made a presentation as to obviously the 1% surcharge that's going to be used to collect the funds, how we're going to administer that. We obviously have the committee now that's up and running, and the committee had a public hearing, was it yesterday? Tuesday, excuse me. And so we're getting feedback in on that. It's moving forward. This is obviously something that we have to put in place to make sure that we have the structure ready to move forward in terms of collecting the funds and knowing what we have, and also knowing the different divisions there in overseeing the distribution of it. So we have the administration in place for it, and obviously by adopting this, we'll continue to move forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Council Fieri.
President, this is an exciting beginning to the Community Preservation Act. We have a great committee involved. Mr. Morality was here this evening. I think we have a good cross-section of people trying to help out to make this community preservation work for the City of Salem. It's worked very effectively for the City of Peabody. They've had it since the very beginning of the inception of the Community Preservation Act. So I think this is going to have a substantial difference for the City of Salem, and I commend Council Prevey's report, and I hope we pass it unanimously on the journey of the Community Preservation Act. It's going to be exciting for the City of Salem. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further committee reports. Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, the City Council, November 14, 2013. Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of a $20,000 appropriation within the CPA General Unreserved Fund to the following accounts to be expended for general administrative costs by the Community Community Preservation Committee as follows. CPA General Administration Expenses, $16,500, and CPA General Administration Stipends, $3,500. Has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
Okay, on acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? On adoption of the recommendation and discussion?
Mr. President, as part of the entire package and proposal, there's administrative costs. We're allowed to garner up 5% of that amount from the CPA funds collected. And during the committee meeting, there's a stipend that is allowed to be assigned to the CPA administrator, in this case, obviously Jane Guy. That's the $3,500. And then the other monies that are there, the $16,000 is going to be utilized for other costs that are going to be incurred in terms of putting forward materials, printing, contracted services, things of that nature. So it's really not too much when you kind of look at the entire scope of what the CPA is about and how much money that they're dealing with in terms of what administrative costs might be associated with that. So I would imagine if some of the costs get kind of over that, which I hope they don't, we would have to seek money elsewhere. It can't come out of the CPA from my understanding because of the 5% cap on that. But again, going back to the amounts of the $40,000, those are all estimates that we're making right now. So as time goes on, we kind of get into the actual collection of the funds and the CPA as time goes on. I'm talking like a year, 2 years. Mm-hmm. We'll have a better sense of how much money that we're actually dealing with and what the percentages are from there.
Great, thank you. Any further comments, discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further committee reports. Council Sosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, November 14, 2013. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, to whom is referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and would recommend approval of tag days for Salem Academy Charter School, January 17th, 2014, February 7th, 2014, and March 7th, 2014.
Okay, on acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? On adoption recommendation, on discussion?
No discussion, Mr. President.
All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further committee reports. Council Sosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, November 14, 2013. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of an ordinance relative to shopping carts, has considered said matter and would recommend that the matter remain in committee.
Okay, on acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? On adoption recommendation, on discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. Basically, what this is all about is everybody has seen throughout the entire city various shopping carts that have been removed from the various stores, whether it be Crosby's, whether it be Walmart's, whether it be Steve's Market, and all of a sudden they've been littered all around the city. The problem becomes, what do we do with this? Because if we send somebody out there, it costs us time and money to do that. Also, where do we put these? So basically the issue was, we don't want to really penalize the store owner because somebody took their cart, but yet at the same time, we need to bring it, we need to control this so we don't have a plethora, so to say, of these carts all over the place, because for the various reasons that everybody's very much aware of. That being said, the city solicitor was here, and after a lot of comments from a lot of people, actually Mr. Crosby was here, he's actually the head of an alliance, if you will, of the various stores in this region. And they have come up with a whole bunch of good ideas that him and the city solicitor, Beth Renard, and also Councilor Siegel, are going to work out and kind of tweak the wording in this whole thing, because we don't want it to penalize the store owner, yet we have to address this, of course. That being said, that's why it's going to remain in committee, and I expect that in the near future it'll be brought back with its finalized version.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further committee reports. Council Sosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, November 14, 2013. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, to co-post with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to Chapter 12, Article 2, Maintenance of Property of Vacant Residential Properties in Foreclosure, has considered said matter and would recommend that this matter go forward for first passage.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? On adoption recommendation, under discussion?
President, yeah, under discussion here, we have the Assistant Building Inspector, Mike Lukaszewski, here this evening. And basically, this was before us not long ago, but needed to be tweaked. There was some language in here that our city solicitor looked at There was a couple of things that needed to be changed, a little word here, a little word there. Now, this is the final version that's before us, and both the Building Inspector Tom St. Pierre, the Assistant Building Inspector Mike Letrikowski, the City Solicitor Beth Renard, everybody is in agreement that this is an enforceable ordinance and that it should now go forward without any further delay. That being said, I hope that our colleagues here will pass this for first passage.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further discussion? Counselor Sargent?
Thank you, Mr. President. During the course of walking around at election time, I saw more of these houses than I realized were out there. And as the Assistant Building Inspector said, they've already paid to have some of them cleaned up. And those people are waiting to be paid for an ordinance like this to be passed so they can be paid. So this will put more teeth in our ordinance to go out there and find out who owns these houses and to get them cleaned up and to help out the neighbors of, the abutters of these properties and the neighborhoods in general. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Sargent. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Communications from city officials? None. Petitions?
We have a petition from Verizon to install a conduit on Highland Avenue.
Hearing ordered December 5th, 2013. Further petitions?
We have a list of license applications for public guides and taxi operators.
Counselor Sosnowski?
Thank you, Mr. President. Move that these all be granted.
Sosnowski moves granted. All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions?
We have a list of license applications for Seaworm, secondhand valuable, and secondhand clothing.
Counselor Sosnowski?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that these matters be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions?
We have one drain layer contract operator license for Cahill Development.
Counselor Sosnowski?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this one be granted.
Those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions?
We have a list of claims.
Counselor Sosnowski?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that all these claims be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Further petitions?
We have one drain layer bond for Cahill Development.
Counselor Sosnowski?
Move this matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs and returned approved.
All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 75, parking prohibited towing zone, resident sticker parking, Lynn Street.
Counselor Sosnowski?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this matter be adopted for second and final passage.
All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Counselor O'Keefe?
Move for adoption, adjournment.
All those in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned.